Hey, we are live. You- Between the YouTube and the iPad, they had a little bit of a hiccup there. So let's give people a chance to pile in, and then we'll talk about our subject for the day. This is going to be good, people. This is going to be a good one. Let me clean my glasses. So, this is rather interesting. So, for quite a while now, it's been going back and forth about Ukraine joining NATO and um, Russia saying that's why that they invaded because they were going to join NATO and all of this stuff. And here's something that just come up over the weekend here. Um, Georgia Maloney, the Prime Minister of Italy, has kind of thrown a bit of a wrench in the works of Ukraine joining NATO. She is saying that Ukraine should get the Article 5 protection of NATO without ever joining NATO. And the way she um, proposed it is really, really interesting. She said that just like Germany, West Germany, was allowed the protections of NATO without initially joining NATO, the same thing should be given offered to Ukraine. But this is an interesting but. All hostilities in the war must cease. Ukraine's president uh, must, well, she didn't outright come and say he must resign. She said there must be new elections and that Ukraine must sign an agreement that they will not take up arms against Russia, that the current territorial map of Ukraine will be the territorial map of Ukraine. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. That's a unique way to put it because Ukraine has been screaming that they want to be in NATO, they want to be in NATO, but they don't want to end the war. They don't want to end the war. And it's really, really interesting that Georgia Maloney was able to get Zielinski, from what I understand, to accept all of this stuff. And he did a statement, I think it was put out on X, saying that if he will get NATO protections, that he will resign as president of Ukraine. And he is saying, that no elections was temporary, you can't have elections during war. That's all bogus BS. He puts his political opponents in jail. He made all the Christian churches close. For all intents and purposes, he's a dictator. Dictators don't want to give up their power. He basically, it's called conscription. They go and they drive through the streets, and if they see a young man of military age, they stop the van, they run out, and they grab them off of the street. And I find that all interesting because it's, when the war first started, I supported it. Now I do not because Zielinski is a dictator. We typically don't support dictators. Typically. And as far as Putin's, well, I would call him a dictator, but Russia is considered our enemy. And I don't know where this is all going, but the absurdity of Prime Minister Starmer saying he's going to put 30,000 troops in Ukraine as, quote, peacekeepers is absurd. The war has to come to an end first, because otherwise you're adding troops to the war, and then Putin will take it out on your cities. He will start bombing London. He has the ability to do that. This is just madness. This is just complete and utter madness that we have these, I call them the idiots in charge. Starmer and Macron, they are, they're adding fuel to the fire to keep the war going. The people, I've watched some YouTube channels from the United Kingdom. The people on the ground there do not support conscription, and basically Starmer is saying through his uh, foreign minister, is saying that conscription is the way to go. What? No, it's not. They call it conscription. It's basically kidnapping young men and putting them on the front lines. We used to call it, well, we didn't ever go that far, but we used to have a draft. Now our military is all volunteer. But during Biden's term, the Democrats almost got the draft reinstated. They almost got it reinstated. They're a bunch of jackwagons. You know, the whole thing about the president's State of the Union speech, the Democrats showed their colors. They really did. Laken Riley's mom was there. They would not stand and clap for her. You had DJ, 13-year-old brain cancer survivor, that all he wanted to do was be a cop. And so President Trump made him an honorary Secret Service agent. That little boy was so happy. Not one Democrat cheered for that little boy. That is disgusting. That should lose them elections forever. Then you had some Democrats rolling their eyes at that little boy. Just disgusting. You know, this is a little boy who's 13 who has brain cancer and is undergoing treatments. And we applaud him for surviving this long, and the Democrats sit on their hands. That's evil to me. And then you had a young man that was, his dad was unalived in the line of duty, and all he wanted to do was get into West Point, and West Point would not answer his phone calls. So President Trump got on the phone to find out what was going on and told this young man that he had been accepted to West Point. That was a great moment, and the Democrats could not even cheer for this young man. They sat on their hands. This is just outright disgusting. You know, I know we're off topic here, but I just wanted to share some of this stuff with y'all. Okay, so that's what I have for y'all. See you back here tomorrow at noon. I have been scheduling these, but for some reason it doesn't always come up. But always check at noon to see if there's a stream. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.